Just a beggar dog, they thought, until they witnessed the shocking reason he's stealing food. The sun beat down mercilessly on the dusty streets of Cedar Creek, a small town nestled amidst rolling hills and sprawling farmland. Rusty, a scruffy mixed-breed dog with a coat the color of faded denim and eyes that held a hint of both weariness and wariness, trotted along the sidewalk, his nose twitching, his ears perked, his senses alert to any potential source of sustenance. Life as a stray was a constant struggle for survival. Rusty had been on his own for as long as he could remember, abandoned as a pup, left to fend for himself in the harsh realities of the streets. He had learned to scavenge for scraps, to dodge speeding cars, and to avoid the wary glances of humans who saw him as a nuisance, a potential threat. Hunger gnawed at his belly, a constant reminder of his precarious existence. He had scoured the alleys behind the local supermarket, rummaged through overflowing trash bins, and even attempted to charm the occasional picnicker in the park, all with limited success. The residents of Cedar Creek, though generally kind-hearted, were wary of stray dogs, their generosity tempered by a fear of the unknown. Rusty, despite his hunger, refused to resort to aggression. He had learned that a wagging tail and a hopeful gaze were more likely to elicit a kind word or a discarded crust of bread than a menacing growl or a desperate lunge. He had mastered the art of the pleading eyes, the gentle nudge, the soft whimper that tugged at the heartstrings of even the most hardened soul. But even his most endearing tactics were often met with indifference or outright rejection. He was, after all, just a stray, a scruffy, nameless dog with no claim to the comforts of human companionship. He was an outsider, a reminder of the harsh realities of life beyond the picket fences and manicured lawns of Cedar Creek. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the town square, Rusty's hopes dwindled. His stomach growled with increasing urgency, his energy waning, his spirit burdened by the weight of his solitary existence. He sought refuge in a quiet alleyway, curling up behind a stack of discarded boxes, his body shivering despite the lingering warmth of the day. He closed his eyes, his thoughts drifting to a time when he had known the warmth of human touch, the comfort of a loving home. He vaguely remembered a kind woman, her gentle hands stroking his fur, her soft voice whispering words of comfort. But those memories were fading, like a distant dream, replaced by the harsh realities of his current existence. As darkness enveloped the town, Rusty's hunger pangs intensified. He knew he couldn't give up, that he had to keep searching, keep hoping, keep believing that somewhere, somehow, there was a place for him. A kind soul who would see beyond his scruffy exterior and recognize the loyal heart beating within his chest. With a renewed surge of determination, Rusty rose to his paws, his senses alert, his nose leading him towards a faint but promising scent wafting through the evening air. It was the aroma of food, of cooked meat and savory spices, a beacon of hope in the darkness of his hunger. He followed the scent, his pace quickening, his heart pounding with anticipation. He emerged from the alleyway, his eyes drawn to a brightly lit diner across the street, its windows glowing with warmth and inviting aromas. He had stumbled upon a potential haven, a source of sustenance, a glimmer of hope in his desperate search for survival. The diner, a quaint establishment with a weathered wooden facade and a neon sign that proclaimed Millie's Home Cooking, beckoned Rusty like a beacon in the night. He cautiously crossed the street, his senses heightened, his body tense with a mix of hope and apprehension. He had learned to be wary of humans, their reactions unpredictable, their intentions often unclear. But the enticing aroma emanating from the diner, the warm glow of the lights, and the sound of laughter spilling out from within drew him closer, his hunger overriding his fear. He approached the back of the diner, where a small alleyway led to a dumpster overflowing with discarded food scraps. It was a treasure trove for a hungry stray, a feast of discarded delights that promised to quell his gnawing hunger. He cautiously approached the dumpster, his nose twitching, his senses confirming the bounty within. He rummaged through the bags and containers, his mouth watering at the sight of leftover burgers, half-eaten fries, and discarded chicken bones. As he devoured the scraps, a sense of relief washed over him. He hadn't eaten such a satisfying meal in days, his body reveling in the nourishment, his spirit lifted by the unexpected bounty. He was so engrossed in his feast that he didn't notice the back door of the diner creaking open. Millie, the diner's owner, a kind-hearted woman with a warm smile and a generous spirit, stepped out into the alleyway, her arms laden with bags of trash. She paused, her eyes widening in surprise at the sight of the scruffy dog devouring the discarded food. Rusty, startled by her presence, froze, his body tensing, his eyes pleading for mercy. Millie, however, felt no fear or disgust. She saw a creature in need, a hungry soul seeking sustenance. She had a soft spot for animals, her own beloved Labrador, Buddy, a constant companion in her life. "Well, hello there, fella," she greeted Rusty softly, her voice gentle and reassuring. "Looks like you found yourself a feast." Rusty, cautiously wagging his tail, approached Millie, his eyes fixed on her face, gauging her intentions. He sensed her kindness, her lack of threat, and his apprehension began to dissipate. Millie, touched by his gentle demeanor, reached out a hand, her touch soft and reassuring. Rusty leaned into her touch, his body relaxing, his tail wagging with increasing enthusiasm. "You're a sweet boy, aren't you?" she cooed, her heart melting at his response. "You must be starving." She returned to the diner, emerging moments later with a plate piled high with leftover meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy. She placed the plate on the ground, watching as Rusty devoured the food with gusto. "There you go, fella," she said with a smile. "Eat up. You deserve a good meal." Rusty, his belly full, his spirit lifted, looked at Millie with gratitude in his eyes. He had found a kind soul, a beacon of hope in his lonely existence. He wagged his tail vigorously, his entire body expressing his thanks. Millie, her heart warmed by his response, knew that this was just the beginning of a special connection, a bond that would not only transform Rusty's life but also bring a touch of warmth and compassion to the heart of her diner. News of the stray dog that frequented the back alley of Millie's diner spread quickly through the small town of Cedar Creek. Regulars at the diner, their hearts touched by Millie's compassion and Rusty's gentle demeanor, began to take an interest in the scruffy canine. They would arrive at the diner with pockets full of dog biscuits, leftover scraps from their own dinners, and the occasional chew toy or tennis ball. They would gather in the alleyway after their meals, watching as Rusty gratefully accepted their offerings, his tail wagging with increasing enthusiasm. Rusty, initially wary of these new faces, gradually warmed to their kindness. He learned to recognize their individual scents, their familiar voices, their gentle touch. He began to associate the diner with not just food but also with a sense of community, a feeling of belonging that he had long forgotten. He would greet the regulars with a wagging tail and a hopeful gaze, his eyes expressing a gratitude that transcended words. He would perform simple tricks, sitting on command, rolling over for a belly rub, and even offering a paw in exchange for a tasty treat. The alleyway behind Millie's diner transformed into a makeshift dog park, a place where Rusty could interact with humans, receive affection, and experience the joy of companionship. It was a far cry from the lonely streets and wary glances he had grown accustomed to. Millie, witnessing the transformation in Rusty, felt a surge of pride and satisfaction. She had not only provided him with sustenance but had also opened the hearts of her customers, creating a ripple effect of kindness that extended beyond the walls of her diner. She continued to leave out a special plate for Rusty every evening, a feast of leftover meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy, his favorite meal. She would often sit with him in the alleyway, her hand resting on his fur, her voice soft and soothing. "You're a special dog, Rusty," she would tell him, her eyes filled with affection. "You've brought so much joy to this place." Rusty, his head resting on her lap, would gaze up at her with gratitude and adoration. He had found a friend, a protector, a beacon of hope in the darkness of his solitary existence. One evening, as Rusty was enjoying his dinner, a young boy approached him, his eyes wide with curiosity, his hand outstretched with a dog biscuit. Tommy, a regular at the diner with his parents, had been watching Rusty from afar, his heart drawn to the scruffy dog's gentle demeanor. Rusty, initially hesitant, accepted the biscuit, his tail wagging tentatively. Tommy, emboldened by his response, sat beside him, his voice soft and reassuring. "Hi, Rusty," he greeted him, his hand gently stroking his fur. "You're a good boy, aren't you?" Rusty, sensing Tommy's genuine affection, leaned into his touch, his body relaxing, his tail wagging with increasing enthusiasm. He had found another friend, another kind soul who saw beyond his scruffy exterior and recognized the loyal heart within. Tommy, his heart filled with compassion, vowed to become Rusty's protector, his advocate, his link to the world of human kindness. He would visit Rusty every evening, bringing him treats, playing with him, and sharing stories of his day. The bond between the boy and the dog grew stronger with each passing day, a testament to the power of connection, the healing touch of compassion, and the unwavering loyalty that can exist between humans and animals. Tommy, his young heart captivated by Rusty's gentle spirit, became a regular fixture in the alleyway behind Millie's diner, his hand gently stroking his fur, his voice soft and soothing as he recounted the day's events, his triumphs on the soccer field, his challenges with his math homework, his dreams of becoming a veterinarian. Rusty, his head resting on Tommy's lap, would listen intently, his eyes fixed on the boy's face, his tail wagging gently in response to the soothing rhythm of his voice. He had found a confidant, a friend who saw him not as a stray but as a companion, a fellow being worthy of love and respect. Tommy, with his youthful curiosity and keen observation skills, noticed something peculiar about Rusty's behavior. Every evening, after finishing his meal, Rusty would gather any leftover scraps, carefully placing them in his mouth, and then disappear into the shadows of the alleyway. He would return a while later, his mouth empty, his demeanor noticeably lighter, as if a burden had been lifted from his shoulders. Tommy, intrigued by this routine, decided to investigate. His detective instincts peaked. One evening, as Rusty gathered his scraps and prepared to depart, Tommy followed him discreetly, his heart pounding with anticipation. He kept a safe distance, careful not to alarm his furry friend, his eyes fixed on Rusty's retreating figure. Rusty led him through a maze of alleyways and back streets, his pace quickening as he neared his destination. Tommy, his excitement growing, followed closely, his mind racing with possibilities. Finally, Rusty arrived at an abandoned shed on the outskirts of town, its weathered wooden walls and rusty roof a testament to its neglect. He cautiously entered the shed, disappearing into the shadows within. Tommy, his heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and apprehension, crept closer, peering through a crack in the wall. What he saw inside took his breath away, his young heart swelling with a mix of compassion and awe. In the center of the shed, nestled amidst a pile of rags and blankets, lay four adorable puppies, their eyes barely open, their tiny bodies wriggling with playful energy. Rusty, his mouth now empty, gently nudged the pups towards his belly, his milk providing nourishment and comfort. Tommy watched the scene unfold, his eyes brimming with tears. He had stumbled upon a secret, a hidden world of love and devotion, a testament to the resilience of the animal spirit. Rusty, the stray dog he had befriended, was not just a survivor, but a father, a protector, a provider for his vulnerable offspring. Tommy, his heart overflowing with compassion, knew he had to help. He crept away from the shed, his mind racing with plans, his heart determined to share his discovery with those who could offer Rusty and his pups the support they so desperately needed. Tommy, his young heart brimming with a mix of excitement and determination, raced back towards Millie's diner, his mind ablaze with plans to help Rusty and his newfound family. He burst through the diner doors, his breathless announcement capturing the attention of the patrons and staff alike. "Millie! Millie!" he exclaimed, his voice filled with urgency. "You won't believe what I found. Rusty has puppies." The diner erupted in a chorus of gasps and exclamations, the news of Rusty's secret family spreading like wildfire through the cozy establishment. Millie, her heart warmed by the revelation, rushed to Tommy's side, her eyes wide with concern and curiosity. "Puppies, Tommy?" she inquired, her voice gentle and reassuring. "Tell me everything." Tommy, with animated gestures and breathless enthusiasm, recounted his adventure, describing his pursuit of Rusty, the discovery of the abandoned shed, and the heartwarming sight of the 4 adorable puppies nestled against their father's warm fur. The diner patrons, their hearts touched by the story, gathered around Tommy, their faces etched with a mix of compassion and admiration for Rusty's dedication to his pups. A wave of sympathy washed over them, replacing their initial wariness of the stray dog with a newfound respect for his resilience and paternal instincts. Millie, her eyes brimming with tears, embraced Tommy, her heart swelling with pride for the young boy's compassion and initiative. She announced to the diner, her voice filled with determination, "We have to help Rusty and his family. We can't let them struggle alone." Her words were met with a chorus of agreement, the diner patrons eager to contribute, their collective spirit ignited by the heartwarming story. A collection jar was quickly produced, coins and bills clinking as they filled the container, a testament to the generosity of the Cedar Creek community. Millie, ever the organizer, took charge, delegating tasks, coordinating efforts, and ensuring that Rusty and his pups received the support they needed. She contacted the local animal shelter, informing them of the situation and requesting their assistance in providing temporary housing and veterinary care. Word of Rusty's plight spread throughout the town, carried by the whispers of concerned citizens and amplified by the local newspaper and radio station. Donations poured in food, blankets, toys, and even a cozy dog bed for Rusty and his pups. The community rallied around the stray dog and his family, their collective heart touched by his resilience and devotion. They saw in Rusty a reflection of their own values, loyalty, perseverance, and the unwavering bond of family. The abandoned shed was transformed into a makeshift nursery, cleaned and furnished with donated blankets and toys. Volunteers took turns caring for the pups, feeding them, playing with them, and providing them with the love and attention they needed to thrive. Rusty, initially wary of the influx of human kindness, gradually warmed to the attention, his trust in humanity slowly restored. He watched as his pups frolicked and played, their tiny bodies growing stronger each day, their playful antics a testament to the care and compassion they were receiving. The once lonely stray, the outcast who had roamed the streets in search of survival, had found a home, a family, a community that embraced him and his pups with open arms. He had become a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, kindness and compassion can prevail, transforming not just the lives of those in need but also the hearts of those who offer their support. The abandoned shed, once a desolate refuge for a struggling father and his vulnerable pups, transformed into a haven of warmth and care. Volunteers, their hearts touched by Rusty's story, flocked to the shed, their hands bearing gifts of food, blankets, and toys. The pups, their eyes now open, their tiny bodies wriggling with newfound energy, delighted in the attention, their playful barks and clumsy attempts at walking filling the shed with a joyful cacophony. Rusty, his initial wariness replaced by a cautious trust, watched over his offspring, his tail wagging gently as he observed their interactions with their human caregivers. Millie, the driving force behind the community's efforts, took a particular interest in Rusty and his pups. She visited the shed daily, bringing fresh food, clean blankets, and a gentle touch that soothed Rusty's anxieties and fostered a growing bond between them. She would sit with Rusty, her hand resting on his fur, her voice soft and reassuring as she spoke to him about the future, the possibility of finding a loving home for him and his pups, a place where they could thrive and experience the joys of human companionship. Rusty, his head resting on her lap, would gaze up at her with gratitude and a glimmer of hope in his eyes. He had found a true friend in Millie, a kind soul who saw beyond his scruffy exterior and recognized the loyal heart within. Dr. Jones, the local veterinarian, also became a regular visitor to the shed. He examined the pups, ensuring their health and administering necessary vaccinations. He marveled at their resilience, their playful spirit, and their unwavering trust in their father. He also took the time to examine Rusty, discovering that beneath his scruffy coat and wary demeanor lay a healthy and strong dog, his spirit unbroken despite the hardships he had endured. Dr. Jones, his heart touched by Rusty's story, vowed to find him a loving home, a place where he could finally experience the comfort and security he deserved. Word of the adorable puppies spread throughout Cedar Creek, attracting the attention of families eager to offer them a forever home. Dr. Jones, with Millie's assistance, carefully screened potential adopters, ensuring that each pup would be placed in a loving and responsible environment. One by one, the pups found their forever families, their departures bittersweet but filled with hope for a brighter future. Rusty, though saddened by their absence, watched with pride as his pups embarked on their new lives, their playful spirits carrying with them the legacy of their resilient father. With the pups settled in their new homes, Millie turned her attention to Rusty. She knew that finding him the perfect home would be a challenge, given his past experiences and his initial wariness of humans. But she was determined to find him a place where he could thrive, a family who would cherish him for the loyal and loving companion he was. She spread the word, sharing Rusty's story with her friends, neighbors, and customers at the diner. She described his gentle nature, his intelligence, and his unwavering loyalty, painting a picture of a dog who deserved a second chance at happiness. Her efforts paid off. A kind couple, their hearts touched by Rusty's story, expressed their interest in adopting him. They had a spacious home with a large backyard, a perfect environment for a dog who had spent his life on the streets. They were patient and understanding, their love for animals evident in their gentle touch and reassuring voices. Millie arranged a meeting between Rusty and the couple, her heart filled with hope and anticipation. She watched as Rusty cautiously approached them, his tail wagging tentatively, his eyes searching for signs of acceptance and affection. The couple, with open arms and warm smiles, welcomed Rusty into their lives, their hearts filled with compassion for the dog who had overcome so much. Rusty, sensing their genuine kindness, leaned into their touch, his body relaxing, his tail wagging with increasing enthusiasm. He had found his forever home, a place where he could finally let go of his past anxieties and embrace the joys of human companionship. He had found a family who would cherish him, protect him, and love him unconditionally. Rusty's life took a dramatic turn. He went from scavenging for scraps in the alleyways to lounging on a plush dog bed in a cozy living room. His days were filled with leisurely walks in the park, playful games of fetch in the backyard, and endless cuddles on the couch with his new family, the Millers. The Millers, a retired couple with hearts full of love and a home filled with warmth, embraced Rusty as one of their own. They showered him with affection, patiently coaxing him out of his shell, reassuring him that he was safe, loved, and cherished. They discovered his playful side, his love for chasing squirrels, his joy in splashing through puddles, his gentle nature with children and other animals. They marveled at his intelligence, his quickness to learn new tricks, his eagerness to please. Rusty, in turn, blossomed under their care. His scruffy coat became sleek and shiny, his eyes sparkled with happiness, and his tail wagged with an enthusiasm that filled their home with joy. He had found a haven, a place where he could finally be himself, a dog without worries, a companion without fear. He formed a special bond with Mr. Miller, accompanying him on his morning walks, his keen senses alert to any potential dangers. He cuddled with Mrs. Miller on the couch, his warm body a comforting presence during her afternoon naps. He even became a local celebrity, his story spreading throughout Cedar Creek, a testament to the transformative power of kindness and compassion. People would stop the Millers on their walks, eager to pet Rusty, to hear his story, to marvel at his transformation. Rusty, once an outcast, a symbol of neglect and hardship, had become an ambassador for hope, a reminder that every life, no matter how humble or forgotten, has value, has potential, has a story waiting to be told. He continued to visit Millie's diner, his presence a welcome reminder of the community's generosity and the power of collective action. He would greet the regulars with a wagging tail and a joyful bark, his eyes expressing a gratitude that transcended words. Millie, her heart swelling with pride, would watch as Rusty interacted with her customers, his transformation a testament to the ripple effect of her initial act of kindness. She had not only saved a dog's life but had also ignited a spark of compassion within her community, a spark that continued to burn brightly. Rusty's story became a local legend, a tale whispered around campfires, shared in classrooms, and recounted at family gatherings. It was a story of resilience, of second chances, of the unwavering bond between humans and animals. It was a story that reminded everyone that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact, that compassion can transform lives, and that love, in all its forms, has the power to heal and to unite. Rusty's presence in Cedar Creek became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, compassion and kindness could prevail. His story, a testament to the resilience of the animal spirit and the transformative power of human connection, touched the hearts of the townspeople, leaving an indelible mark on their community. The once neglected alleyway behind Millie's diner was transformed into a memorial garden, a tribute to Rusty and his pups. A bronze statue of Rusty, his tail wagging, his eyes filled with gratitude, stood proudly amidst a bed of colorful flowers, a permanent reminder of the stray dog who had united a community. The garden became a gathering place, a place where children played, families picnicked, and neighbors exchanged stories, their laughter and chatter a testament to the spirit of unity that Rusty had inspired. It was a place where the memory of his resilience and the legacy of his love lived on. Millie's Diner, once a simple eatery, became a hub of community activity, a place where people gathered not just for food, but also for companionship and shared purpose. Millie, inspired by Rusty's story, expanded her menu to include dog-friendly treats, welcoming furry companions with open arms. She organized regular charity events, raising funds for the local animal shelter and promoting responsible pet ownership. She became an advocate for animal welfare, her voice amplified by Rusty's story, her actions a testament to the power of one person to make a difference. The residents of Cedar Creek, their hearts touched by Rusty's journey, embraced a renewed sense of compassion for animals. They became more aware of the plight of stray and abandoned creatures, their generosity extending beyond food scraps to include donations to shelters, fostering initiatives, and adoption campaigns. The local animal shelter, once struggling to keep its doors open, experienced a surge in support, its kennels filled with hopeful animals awaiting their forever homes. The staff, inspired by Rusty's story, worked tirelessly to provide care and find loving families for their furry residents. Rusty, now a senior dog, his muzzle grayed, his gait slowed, continued to be a beloved member of the Miller family. He spent his days basking in the warmth of their love, his nights curled up at the foot of their bed, his presence a constant reminder of the transformative power of compassion. He would often accompany the Millers on their visits to the memorial garden, his tail wagging gently as he surveyed the space dedicated to his memory. He would gaze at his bronze likeness, his eyes filled with a quiet contentment, his heart knowing that his legacy would live on, inspiring generations to come. Rusty's story, a tale of resilience, compassion, and the enduring bond between humans and animals, became an integral part of Cedar Creek's identity. It was a story that reminded everyone that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact, that community can unite in the face of adversity, and that love, in all its forms, has the power to heal and transform. Time, the relentless sculptor, continued to etch its passage on Rusty's aging form. His once vibrant coat, the color of faded denim, was now streaked with silver, his movements a touch slower, his naps a bit longer. But his spirit, the essence of his being, remained as bright as ever, his eyes still sparkling with a youthful curiosity, his tail still wagging with an infectious enthusiasm. The Millers, their own hair silvered, their steps a bit more measured, cherished every moment with their beloved companion. They had grown old together, their bond deepening with each passing year, their love for Rusty a constant source of warmth and joy in their lives. They had witnessed his transformation from a wary stray to a confident and loving companion, his journey a testament to the healing power of human kindness. They had seen him blossom under their care, his playful spirit emerging, his gentle nature radiating through their home. They had shared countless adventures with Rusty walks in the park, picnics by the lake, even a road trip to the coast, where Rusty had experienced the joy of sand between his paws and the salty tang of ocean air. They had created a lifetime of memories, each one a precious gem in the tapestry of their shared lives. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the leaves swirled in a symphony of colors, Rusty, his old bones weary, curled up beside the fireplace, his head resting on Mr. Miller's lap. He gazed at the dancing flames, his eyes reflecting the warmth and contentment that filled his heart. A wave of nostalgia washed over him, carrying him back to his days as a stray, the lonely nights spent scavenging for scraps, the fear and uncertainty that had clouded his existence. He remembered the hunger pangs, the wary glances, the constant struggle for survival. But those memories, once so vivid, now seemed distant, like echoes from a past life. They were overshadowed by the love and security he had found with the Millers, the warmth of their home, the constancy of their affection. He had come so far, his journey a testament to the resilience of the animal spirit, the transformative power of human compassion. He had found a haven, a family, a place where he truly belonged. He closed his eyes, his breathing slowing, his body relaxing into the comforting warmth of the fire and the gentle touch of his human companion. He felt a sense of peace, a deep contentment that permeated his being. He had lived a full life, a life filled with challenges and triumphs, hardships and joys. He had known the depths of despair and the heights of happiness. He had experienced the loneliness of abandonment and the warmth of belonging. And as he drifted off to sleep, his dreams filled with images of playful pups, kind strangers, and the loving embrace of his forever family, he knew that he had found his purpose, his place in the world. He had found love, and in doing so, he had left a legacy of compassion and hope that would continue to echo through the hearts of those who had known him. The years continued to weave their tapestry, painting the canvas of time with the vibrant hues of life's journey. Rusty, his once youthful energy now tempered by the wisdom of age, had become a cherished fixture in Cedar Creek, his presence a comforting constant in the ever-changing flow of time. His story, the tale of the stray dog who had captured the hearts of a community, had become a local legend, passed down from generation to generation, a timeless reminder of the power of compassion and the enduring bond between humans and animals. Children would gather around the Miller's porch, their eyes wide with wonder as they listened to the tales of Rusty's adventures, his transformation from a wary stray to a beloved companion. They would marvel at his resilience, his loyalty, his unwavering spirit in the face of adversity. They would visit the memorial garden, their laughter echoing through the space where Rusty's bronze likeness stood proudly, a symbol of hope and second chances. They would leave offerings of wildflowers at the base of the statue, their small gestures a tribute to the dog who had touched their hearts. The story of Rusty and his pups became a staple in the local elementary school curriculum, a tale woven into lessons about kindness, empathy, and the importance of community. Children would write essays and draw pictures inspired by Rusty's journey, their creativity ignited by his enduring legacy. Millie's Diner, its walls adorned with photos of Rusty and his pups, remained a hub of community activity, a place where people gathered to share stories, celebrate milestones, and offer support to those in need. Millie, her hair now silvered, her smile as warm as ever, continued to be a pillar of the community, her generosity and compassion a beacon for all who crossed her path. The animal shelter, its walls adorned with colorful murals depicting scenes of animal rescue and happy adoptions, thrived under the continued support of the Cedar Creek community. The staff, inspired by Rusty's story, worked tirelessly to provide care and find loving homes for their furry residents, their dedication a testament to the enduring impact of one dog's journey. Rusty, his body now frail, his steps slow and deliberate, continued to enjoy his golden years, surrounded by the love and care of the Millers. He spent his days basking in the warmth of the sun, his nights curled up by the fireplace, his presence a comforting constant in their lives. He would often gaze out the window, his eyes fixed on the bustling street scene, his mind drifting back to his days as a stray, the challenges he had faced, the kindness he had encountered. He felt a sense of gratitude, a deep appreciation for the life he had been given, the love he had found. One peaceful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow across the living room, Rusty, surrounded by the Millers, his head resting on Mrs. Miller's lap, took his final breath, his loyal heart gently ceasing its rhythm. A wave of sadness washed over the Millers, their hearts heavy with grief, their tears a testament to the profound bond they had shared with their beloved companion. But amidst the sorrow, there was also a sense of gratitude, a recognition that Rusty had lived a full and happy life, a life transformed by their love and the kindness of a community. Rusty's passing marked the end of an era, the closing of a chapter in the story of Cedar Creek. But his legacy, the enduring message of compassion, resilience, and the power of human-animal connection, would live on, woven into the fabric of the town's identity, a timeless tale whispered on the wind, carried on the wings of hope, and etched forever in the hearts of those who had known him.